Welcome back to another chaotic video
about our chaotic lives.
And today we'll be doing a Creepers in Korea video part 2, because like we said, we have a lot of these stories and we're gonna try and squeeze in as much as we can. But yeah, we've got like seven new or more stories and a whole nother video for a ton more. So anyways, I guess let's just get on into some stories. So yeah, most of these I will say are in Busan, except for like the last one happened in Seoul, but I think that's because people in Busan are a lot more friendly than people in Seoul. Like they're a lot more outgoing, so they'll talk to us more, which is kind of why we, you know, had more experiences there than others. But this one particular time, we had just finished eating at Thursday Party, which I'm sure we probably talked about many times before, but it is a bar, and at the bar they have really good chicken tenders. So we will go there and we'll
good
eat.
apple beer.
Exactly, and it's cheap. It's one of like the cheapest places to get foreigner food, but it, you know, still tastes like foreigner food. But a lot of times, I mean, drinks are expensive. They're like 8,000 won. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be spending that much money on alcohol. So afterwards, we decided to go to CU, 7-Eleven, I don't know, some convenience store. And we are making our convenience store cocktails. Which mostly just consist of soju and blue lemonade. But you know what? It tastes pretty good to me. So we were in there.
And I don't really like I don't like the cocktails. I'm more of a beer kind of person. Yeah. So we were mostly going for Emily.
Yeah.
We were in pajamas, right?
We had like regular shorts or regular pants on. Like, I think I had jean shorts on, but we did have our pajama shirts on.
Which they're like the same design. I have like stripes and like avocados, and Emily has like stripes and cherries.
So we're like digging in I think we're looking at the ice cream thing, we're looking at the ice cups.
We've
talked about that before. So we were just looking, doing our thing, blah blah blah, and this group of guys comes in.
They come in, just come in all drunk.
I mean, so loud.
Crazy.
I mean, the store's tiny as it is, but I mean, they were being ridiculously loud. And they decided to use whatever English they knew, which, I mean, mostly consisted of like,
hey, avocado, hey, cherry.
Yeah.
Emily didn't connect the dots yet.
I was
that it was
just
about
like,
us.
I was minding my own
like,
business.
Avocado, cherries, and I'm like, our shirts, like.
I mean, I thought, okay, they're just, you know, saying their English because we're in there and they just want to practice saying their weird
random
English, but you know,
fruits.
It's like, no, whatever. I was just in my own world thinking about my cocktails. So we could
focus was alcohol.
And so we, at this particular like CU, we went there often, like almost every single night. So we became to be decent friends. The little cashier guy, which he's actually from China and he just worked there, but we were messing with them, and we were joking about the guys.
We were like, "Nam," which means like that's a bad guy, or just having a little fun, you know. And the guy was laughing, he was giggling, which was fine. But yeah, it was a little weird. I mean, they weren't in any kind of way trying to like get our number or anything, but it was just,
they were just like, you know, being obnoxious and being like, whatever.
And they heard us talking about them, I think, calling them bad guys, and they went out of the CU tipsy, drunk, and with ice cream, and we were still filling up our drinks at the little counter. But
so I mean, it was funny. And then obviously because we were drinking those cocktails,
and I didn't finish mine. I don't really like, especially if the soju has like flavoring. It's just too sweet for me, so I feel sick. So I just was like, hey, Emily, do you want the rest of this? And she had the rest of it. Yeah. And then we went out and like,
so like I'm tipsy, like, you know, after a while, like, did karaoke were fun, but like going back home, we were at home for maybe like an hour or so, and I was like, okay.
And I was the sober one.
Yeah,
and Emily was very tipsy, so I was like, let's go get some water, because I knew she drank enough that she might not feel that well in the morning, and she just needed water anyways.
Yeah, we had like no water in the house.
So we're like, let's go get some water. And I was gonna go by myself, but I was like, come on, before you're stupid and you call somebody up or something crazy. So I was like, come on, let's go.
I was pretty lucid. So I mean, this the convenience store that we're going to at this point is closer to our actual apartment, like a 30-second walk down the road.
Yeah.
And it's kind of more like a residential area, like beside it. So, you know, we're walking, we're doing our thing, going to the convenience store, and I'm like, it was a grocery store for a good bit.
So we get our waters. Let's just speak to this. We got our waters.
It was before we got our waters, though.
It was?
Yeah, before we went into the store, there were these group of 3 dudes walking down the street, and one of them had on a crop top.
It was raining, too. Let's remind you. It was like, not like storm raining, but it was sprinkling. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you see this dude with a t-shirt like this. Up to here.
I'm laughing my butt off because I'm like, what is this man doing out in the rain wearing a crop top at 2 in the morning? So
and I'm not entertained. I'm like, let's just get out of here. Let's go.
Of course, I'm laughing. They hear me laughing. They turn around. They see us. And I'm like, oh, crap.
So then we go in and we buy our water. And we come out and Emily, being her tipsy self that's not normal,
decided, oh, I'm going to just check and see if they're still there.
But let me explain. She's tipsy. She's hunched over. She's in the middle of the road in the dark, staring at these guys. She's just staring at them.
I mean,
and the dude in the crop top.
With the crop top.
The dude in the crop top is the most confident, and he's just standing there like,
oh
ooh,
yeah.
Ooh. So they decide that they're gonna hop onto this guy's moped bike thing.
All 3 of them.
All
on a tiny bike. And they're not tiny either. They're kind of chunky.
And I'm already trying to walk down the road. I'm like, Emily, let's go, let's go. And usually it's Emily telling me, and I'm the one that's all good. But no, she was just no. So I was like, let's go. I'm tired of this. Let's get home and drink our water. she's hunched over.
Because I'm looking at, I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they going into that area? And all of a sudden they come out of their moped. I'm like, oh no.
We start running, but Emily loses her slipper. She has to run like so far to go and get it.
I'm trying to like hide in the dark shadows, and that didn't work. And then they found us and they stopped.
Yeah, they stopped and they kind of like looked at us, and it was like, and I'm like, let's just go. And then all of a sudden they try to take off, and when they took off,
they left their back friend wasn't. They like stood up because they couldn't all fit. I mean, come on, 3 dudes on a tiny bike.
And they left his friend behind, so they were already down the road. His friend was like, yeah.
They're running like this down the street.
It was hilarious. It was a really funny night. It was kind of annoying because I was just tired. I just wouldn't go home and drink water, but it was the picture.
It was definitely funny. I mean, yeah, it's such a weird experience.
I will never forget the sight of you standing in the middle of the road, just looking. And the crop top was just ridiculous.
I mean, it was hilarious. Okay, it was 2 a.m. It's sprinkling. This man's wearing a crop top. Like, I mean, come on. But yeah, Busan, man,
Busan
is weird. And then like one time, it's not even on these. I have notes written down. It's not even in the notes, but we were walking down the street, you know, minding our own business, looking for food, doing whatever it is that we were doing, and this, I don't know, high school age boy comes up, and he comes up to us and asks, where's the Starbucks?
Yeah, he goes, yeah, he doesn't even, in English, he doesn't even ask. He goes, where's the Starbucks? And I look back and like, I see his little group of friends, and I'm
they're like,
I know what's going on. They sent their friend over to like, see if he can use English. So I decided in my mind, I'm like, oh, he's using English. I'm gonna use Korean. And I was like, 몰라요. I was like, I don't know.
Like, how are we supposed to know?
I looked back at her and I was like, Starbucks 어딨어요? I asked her in Korean and she's like, 나 몰라요. So we're speaking Korean. He's speaking English and he doesn't seem very happy at this moment. He seems kind of awkward.
I mean, he probably got dared into doing it, so I mean, what do you expect?
So then he just walks away. He just walks away and I'm like, okay. And then his friends are laughing and looking back at us and we're like,
I mean, we would get some similar things like that. Even in Seoul, like, kids are the most outgoing. One time we were riding bikes, I think Olympic Park in near Jamsil, and like it was some kind of field trip because there was like 1,000 children out there. And I mean, we were riding our bikes going along, and they were like, "Hello, hello." And it felt like, wow, this is what a celebrity feels like, because dang, I'm a little insane.
I remember one kid shot me with his imaginary Spider-Man web at the train station. I was like, kick it out. It was really cute.
You get things like that often, but I mean, for the most part, pretty normal.
let's get into my favorite story. That's what I'm really looking forward to. So, like, in Korea, since we're like the opposites of each other.
Yeah.
You're tall, blonde, I'm kind of shorter. I'm taller than most Koreans, women, and I'm a brunette. So, like, we get stares no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, you got the complete polar opposites of each other, and like...
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, you know, we get stared at.
But there...
Yeah.
there was this thing that me and Emily started to do to have fun with the people that were
It's like,
staring.
if we're gonna get stared at, we might as well get stared at.
So we would make this face. If they would stare at us for too long, we'd just be like, no, and then we'd be like,
You think, you know, you don't want to laugh at that. Anytime we would do it to anybody, like our friends,
they would kind of like,
they would like laugh or like stiffen up.
Or look away real quick, you know.
But, man.
No, that's not. But we need to give some context, okay? So we're with our friend. He's a Korean guy.
When you see, like, when we say that this happens, most Koreans do not believe us.
Yes.
And it's like, we're not lying, okay? This really does happen. So this Korean friend decided, for some reason, he was like, let's go out to eat at like midnight or something. So we're like, okay, whatever.
Don't, like, mind you though, this Korean friend's really fun. He made Busan a lot more fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't understand why they don't understand that it happens. Like, because he was trying to say, no, I think that's kind of rude. I don't think Koreans are that rude or
and
that.
like, I think maybe you took it out of context. Well, did he get a taste of what we deal with 3 times?
Yeah, in 1 night. So it's just him and us, and we're like, we'll kind of like build you up to the best part.
Yeah.
We're walking down the street, and
we're just trying to look for a
and
restaurant.
we're kind of behind him, and he's kind of leading.
Yeah,
so
we don't know where we're going.
But you could tell that he's kind of with us because he's looking back and talking to us.
Yeah.
And we're already getting weird looks because we're with a Korean guy. Korean guy's with us. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
you know,
as we're walking down, it's this like really busy street with like restaurants and bars
and stuff.
Thursday party, our favorite place. And this guy looks over and he goes, I love you. Hello, I love you. Goodbye, I love you.
Yeah, it's like he's with like his friends, and they're all like, hi, bye, I love you. And I'm like,
we just said hi, bye, you know, real quick, and
we're like,
our
okay.
Korean friend, we kind of like look at our Korean friend like, and he looks at us a little shocked, like, what? And we were like, we told you. And he was like, oh my god. Then as we get further down the road, another one. Hey, I love you. But like way more creepy, like.
Way more aggressive. And we said hi back. And he's just like, our friend said, it looks like you just made his day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was so happy and relieved about it. So you know, we were slowly, you know, building up throughout the night, like, see what happens to us, like almost every single day, like this happens a lot.
And this is kind of a little bit more than usual, like talking. Yeah. Stares and like pointing was normal.
Is okay, but like really like talking,
I love you.
Yeah,
like,
that was
confessing their love
is a little bit, you know, extreme. So we're already like, okay, this is getting a little weird.
And then we decide we found some tteokbokki.
And it was like,
which is spicy rice cake.
It's like a street food vendor, but also like if you go in like past the food, you can like sit in there.
You can dine in, yeah.
So,
and it's pretty late at night.
Yeah.
And they have all kinds of stuff. They have kimbap,
dumplings,
mandu,
kimchi.
Yeah, he was eating some kind of soup.
Yeah, he's eating some. There was a ton of stuff in there that you could buy. It was really cheap, obviously, it's street food, but you can just sit in.
So we ordered a little bit.
Yeah, so we're, you know, enjoying our food. And we chose a table that was all the way against the back wall. Just so
we're sitting against the back wall so we can see who comes in.
Yeah.
He's sitting in front of us.
Yeah. So, you know, me and her are seeing all these weird people, and then our friend, he's sitting like right here, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's nothing weird going on.
This dude comes walking in.
This dude and his 2 friends come walking in.
With his Dora Explorer hairstyle, just bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah, you think it'd be a normal looking dude? No, it's 3 Lord Farquaad looking dudes coming in and just sitting down and staring. And I mean, this one dude.
And this dude was in love with Emily. In love. I mean, he was going to eat his soup, and like he stopped before he could get that spoon to his mouth, and he was just like, wow.
And then he would just go and finish eating. I'm like, okay, you're freaky.
And then Emily decides, I'm gonna do the funny face.
I know, like he would not stop staring, like no matter what.
So we were like, do the funny face and see what will happen.
So I wait for him. I wait and I wait to see if he looks. And then I see him and I go.
And what does he do? Oh, he's even more in love. He's like, yeah, he's like, oh my gosh, in love. So we tell our friend, we're like, okay,
you gotta look at this dude.
Yeah, we told him, we said, we gotta pretend like we're gonna talk to each other, all right? And we're gonna giggle. And you can just casually look behind you and see how weird this dude is. So I go, okay, hi Emily. And the friend loses it. He's like, oh, whatever. Like, you know, like he just couldn't, he was like, that was hilarious. And I was like, what? I thought, honestly, like, I was a little upset because I thought I did such a good job of acting.
Like, we made it seem so normal, and he was like, ha ha ha, and I'm like, dude, shut up and just look at the dude.
Yeah.
He's like, so, look, I'm gonna get some water. He goes and walks to the water machine.
And he looks over, and he comes back, and he's like, oh my god.
Spider crawling on me.
It was hilarious.
Ew. My nose is dripping.
Oh god, I think you drooled.
No.
Anyways, it was hilarious. It was very entertaining to watch.
There's a spider crawling around somewhere around here.
It was one of those things, if you saw it in person, it was a lot funnier.
Yeah, you would, I will insert like a video of like what I remember of the dudes looking like, because man, is it hilarious. Yeah, the dude's like this. Yeah. So
he looked like he was someone fun to party with or play a board game with. Like,
yeah, I mean, he seemed like a fun dude to be around, but boy was he creepy.
He was very creepy. And it was all for Emily. I was like, thank you.
I'm like, okay, this is getting a little weird.
I almost went and got his number for her. I'd be like, hey, you wanna go on a date with her?
So bad, honestly.
But that night was wild. Our friend finally got a taste of
yeah, he finally understood. One of the more funny times that I think is that we were again getting chicken tenders at Thursday party.
Getting chicken tenders.
And beer and who knows what else, honestly. And when we would go to a Thursday party, we had two in Busan that we would go to, like, regularly. Like, they were our two main ones because
we had one that we loved and the other one was kind of more busy most of the time that we didn't really go to, but yeah, it was near a lot of good food.
Yeah,
and fun place to walk around.
We would like sit like in the corner or like kind of like, it was always like by the wall, like we were always like to ourselves, you know, minding our business.
Dad has always taught us to make sure that you can see as much as you can in the building, so that's what we always do. We always try and find a corner somewhere we can get not like closed off, but where we can see everything, who's coming in, who's going out, for safety wise. Yeah,
so I mean, we are two young girls, you know, traveling around the world, so you know, it makes sense. But so we're sitting here minding our business, and this dude walks over and just sits down next to us, and I'm like, okay, like, do you need something? Like, if you don't realize, which I've
and we're pretty
mean about it too.
We're pretty good at playing people off. Like,
yeah, like we've done it many times, like to get them to go away and like leave us alone.
And it's not that we're better than them, it's just that we're very not interested. We
just like to be, you know,
alone.
To ourselves. Like if we're going out and we're eating here, we want to eat here like alone. Like we don't want you coming up and bothering us.
But that's not all Americans.
It's
not all Americans.
No.
Some people might want people to come up.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why he did, because at that particular Thursday party, there is a ton of foreigners that go there, and they're like,
and he was
super
very
outgoing.
He was very friendly. We were kind of like talking to him because he wasn't too creepy, and he was semi-normal looking, so we were like, not normal looking as his face, but like his appearance, how he dressed. He looked well dressed. He didn't seem like he was weird.
Yeah,
but he was weird.
We were like, you know, kind of joking with him, like, oh, you know, our friend will be here soon. No, our friend wasn't coming that night. We were just trying to get him to go away.
Yeah.
So
in a polite way.
Yeah, but then we also kind of like tricked them into thinking we were models and that our friend's a photographer, which I mean, our friend is a photographer, but not for that reason, obviously.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends that are photographers.
So, you know, we were joking with him and we were saying all these things, and he was like, yeah, my friends are coming, like, soon. So he goes,
he's like, hey, wait a minute, I gotta go outside and meet my friend.
I'm gonna go, like, see where they're at. He never came back.
Never came back.
He finally took the hint.
We got played. No, I remember we were like offended because it was the first time that we ever got played. And we had tasted our own medicine.
Yeah, I know. Like we've played people so many times, and it's like
not played as like, you know, we got free drinks and we led them to a thought and then left them. No, like we would just slyly get a like go
we would just
away.
like we would just be like go away, like sneak away, kind of like what he did. But
sometimes you just gotta flat out tell them, no, I'm not interested, and walk away too.
That is true. Be very blunt with them. But then the last one that I can think of for right now, I mean, we probably will come across more in this whole other video, but this last one was me by myself because Leia had already came home here.
Like, what?
And then I was still in Korea. I was in a random city. I mean, I didn't really see too many foreigners there, if any at all, maybe like one. But I was in there and I had something to do that evening, so I was wearing a dress. And I mean, I thought I looked cute, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So I get to walking down the street and this dude comes walking from across the street. And like, streets in Korea are not like streets here. Like, they're busy. They're like 3 and 4 lanes of like across. And he's like runs across the street and he's like, yeah, do you live around here? I'm like, okay. He's gonna ask for you know, directions for something. His English didn't seem that bad. Like maybe he was just from another country or something. I don't know. And I'm like, not really. And he's like, oh, are you just visiting? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, I saw you from walking across the street, and I think he said something like, you're so beautiful. I want to get to know you better. So at this point, I'm like, okay.
Gotta get out of here.
Like, what do you want? And eventually he was, I guess he could tell, like, I was just like, okay. And he was like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And I'm thinking to myself, lie and say yes, or be honest and say no? Lie and say yes. I'm like, yeah, you know,
I'm a boy that's a friend.
Yeah, whatever.
Boyfriend.
Close enough. But I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay, have a good day. I'm like, thank you, I appreciate that. But yeah, that was definitely some weird ones.
Yeah. Before we wrap up the video, I think we both want to just let people know that when you're traveling, especially as a young person, please be careful, please be safe.
Yeah.
Don't just trust any kind of stranger. Yeah, we might look like we're you know, like high and mighty or something like that, but we're really not. We're just trying to focus on our safety. We don't want to get too much attention from strangers, nor do we want to get in a conversation and have them lead us somewhere and then get kidnapped. Because we'll talk about this more in another video, but there is sex trafficking. There is dangers in this world. So it's not like we just want to be rude and we're like, oh, so many guys went after us and we just turned them all down for like a power trip or something. No, it's like, yeah, you get people that want to get to know you and are interested in you and they want to talk to you, especially practice their English, but
just you have to be so careful, especially being, you know, a young female. If you're a young male, I mean, obviously there are still dangers, like, don't get me wrong, there's still dangers there, but, you know, it's not as big of a danger as young females. So
that's why we are
the way we are
up. We just don't trust. I mean, we don't really let people buy us drinks. And I mean, we let a couple, I think, of people that we let buy our drinks, but like we watched the bartender make it and we grabbed them personally and they just like swiped our card. But yeah, we just want to make that known that we're not trying to be stuck up, we're just trying to keep safe. In no way, shape, or form do we think that we really offended anybody where they were really upset or had a bad negative view on us. I think they just kind of know. I mean, they already have like an assumption about foreigners, but I think they just kind of know, like, you know, we are girls, we don't really like it. Like, a Korean's not gonna like it. What makes you think we're gonna like it? Yeah, they put it out there and then it didn't work out. And I'm sorry for if you watch this and you saw us and that happened, but I don't want to get raped. Like,
exactly. So I mean, you just gotta be careful. That's all I can say. Be careful.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Exactly. But anyways, it's enough of our rant for now, but we'll be back with some more, a whole video really about sex trafficking and really like what to look out for. But yeah, so that is all for today. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Traveling Southerners, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a big thumbs up because we would appreciate it, and then comment down below other types of videos that you want to see.
Click the notification bell.
Yeah, don't miss out on any videos. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. And yeah, so I think that's all. Bye.
Bye.